So I'm going to go through and talk about some of the 5 threats that we're seeing today. Some of this stuff is really bizarre because things that people have been trained to see aren't working anymore. And we're going to talk a little bit about what who the scammers are, what's in it for them, the top 5 things we're seeing, and ultimately how to stay safe. So the iceberg that I'm showing right now is really a graphics that's used to describe the internet compared to the deep web and the dark web. The way to think about the different ones is the surface web is what everybody sees every day. It's, it's your Facebook, it's your Google, it's your Amazon accounts. The dark web, the deep web, is all those private sites, the corporate data, anything that's hidden behind a firewall, behind a login session, so people can't get to it. But we're going to go a little deeper and actually talk about the dark web. And this is where criminals are really making their money. Turns out on the dark web, you can buy information on pretty much anyone, anywhere, anytime. Criminal can buy 500,000 names, email addresses, in some case password credentials, for as little as 65 bucks. And according to Cisco, if I send out 1 million phishing emails, I can get 8 people to sign on them, to click on it and do something. And the average ransomware piece right now for most people is coming in about $2,000. So if $65 buys 500,000 names, and I need 1 million names to get 8 people to click, so for 130 bucks I can make 16,000. Pretty good for a 12,000% ROI, huh? So what are they looking for? They're looking for usernames, they're looking for passwords, and any other information that is relevant to you. A lot of times what's happening is people are getting into computers, gathering this information, and then selling it to other criminals. According to Verizon, the Verizon study saying that people are in computers for 100 days before they realize it. That's 100 days of somebody rummaging around your data, your computer, looking at what you're doing, possibly setting up, using your PC to go do other things. And once they get everything off your PC, that's when the ransomware is showing up. These ransomware attacks aren't showing up because I clicked on something today. It's something that somebody did a while ago. Like I said, Verizon says 100 days. IBM's got the number up over 200 days. So it really is that stuff's getting in there and staying. So the top 5, as far as the top 5 scams, the number 1 thing we're seeing that everyone's hearing about seeing really is that phishing email. If I can send something out to you to get you to click on it and ultimately install something on your PC, make it look like it's not there, and that's when I've got access. And what you might hear is a phrase called APT. It's a persistent threat. So it's sitting there, something that's installed in your PC, and once it's installed, it calls home and gets it done, gives people access. We got people saying, well, I'm safe, I'm using a Mac and Macs don't get viruses. Well, turns out in 2020, in the first 3 months, there were 9,000 new Mac viruses that came out. Meaning it's not a lot compared to the 475,000 that came out in the start of April, but they're definitely there. So people say it's not that Macs are going to be safe anymore, and it really is an education thing. And phishing emails are coming in on COVID-19 a lot. Turns out since December, 137,000 new domain names relating to COVID-19 have been set up. Are they all valid? Some of them. Are they bad? A lot of them. And this is some of the ideas that people are sending out that we're seeing. Stay safe tips, real-time maps. Like I sent out a video a while ago with a real-time map that was hacked, where it did other things, breaking news, free test kits, student loan interest wave, anything that people can do to get people to click. And one of the things that another email that came out recently that from the CDC, or it looked like it came from the CDC, people looking at, whoops, hold on, sorry about that. So people are looking at the email and saying they've been trained to look at the link, see where it came from. So this email looks like it came from the CDC. Okay, we go down the bottom and okay, so CDC, but when you hover over it, it goes someplace else. Well, in this case, the someplace else actually takes them to a site that looks like Outlook. So what's happening is they redirected you to a fake site, trying to get the user to put in that username and password. Once they put that username and password in, they're saving it, and now they've got access to your email because you just gave them the username and password. So unless you know what you're looking for, and it's a site you want, you probably should never see an Outlook pop-ups. Like the email, when you hovered over it, it went to something else. Just like today's email in the Zoom link, the Zoom link had one definition, one thing, but the actual link went to a different site because of the copy and paste that happened. So more things watch out for. SBA loans, air carrier refunds. People have been dropping more and more things out there, and then financial. I really just want to educate people on things to think about. There is nobody sending sending you information that you've got a rebate coming if you haven't applied for anything. Although I did get one from the insurance company that said we were going to get a 15% discount on car insurance, but that was confirmed through a paper mail too. But everything is sitting out there and it's wrong, and people need to be educated. Now, so the other thing to watch out for is Zoom. Zoom gave away access to schools. Everyone became remote, and they saw a huge growth. In December in Zoom, 15 million people used it daily. In March, we're up to 200 million users daily, and I guess we missed the boat on investing in Zoom. But Zoom has been doing an incredible job. They've been getting a lot of bad press, but they've been doing a good job of fixing problems. Any piece of software has problems, and when you get more and more people using it, the bad guys are trying to do more and more things with it. What I've been educating people to do is make sure that you update Zoom. There was definitely some, if you exit Zoom or you start a Zoom meeting, go to the Zoom site and download the new one, or take the upgrade from Zoom, because there were things in the sidebar chat that if you put links in there, there was a way to potentially compromise user accounts and get access to it. So Zoom took it out. As soon as it was announced, they basically had a patch out there. So, and the example that's on the screen right now is, it's a fake looking Zoom. People expected they were going to get a Zoom link, and they got this, which was a software to download onto a phone and potentially drop malware. And once I get one piece of malware on there, that's enough for the guys to get into everything. Some of the topics we're seeing from healthcare, emails looking to come from hospitals, health centers, up to the minute vital information. These all have links in them, or links to a PDF that is wrong. So here's one that came out from HHS, which is Health and Human Services. There's been a huge reduction in the HIPAA requirements to get medical practices through this without being able to, with putting in lax security for things like using Zoom meetings and other methods of sharing data. But this email is an email that came out, and people have we've always educated people to go hover over the link and make sure you're going to where you think you should be going. Well, in this case, it was an email from HHS, or appeared to be coming from HHS. And when you went over the top of the link, you looked at it and said, oh, it went to HHS, but it actually redirected. There was a bug at there was a flaw at the government site that actually redirected this to a Japanese site. And when they clicked on that site, it would take them to a third party. In this case, it looked like it took them to the government. Look, made an exact copy of the coronavirus page from the White House Gov, and at that point, people lost everything. They supplied credential information and got access. One of the things that I think is going to happen, I haven't seen this one yet. This is one that we kind of made up. We got our phishing guy that's back in town, and everyone's applied for PPP loans or now we're thinking that there might be a mortgage forbearance. So if somebody happens to get one, says, here at Bank of America, we're concerned about the impact. So click here to get access to our new loan program. So as soon as somebody gets to that site and logs in, they're giving up all their information. It's really the phishing piece that's killing us. And I got out of order because this was the one that was leading into the government site. There was a new piece coming in from this email came out last week where it looked like it came from Trump directly, and it clicked the link and it went to a fake website for the government. Like I said, I did some last minute updates to this. Stay safe. Confirm that senders are legitimate. Make sure the links are good. Never log into a site that you don't think you should be. If you see a link in an email and it's going to one of the sites like the CDC or the WHO or somebody else, retype the link. On some of the other cyber presentations, I actually recommend that people put favors in for things that you go to all the time or things that you want to, so you save them, so you're not depending on somebody else, because it's real easy to change. And if you don't understand something, if you click on something and don't understand something, ask somebody. The IT guys would rather have you ask a question than go to something bad. If you click on something and you don't see anything happen, that's a really good sign that something did happen, that you really need to get the IT guys to take a look, because these persistent threats are sitting out there and just hanging around. This is the handout that I use a lot for giving people, if you want to grab a screenshot of that. It's really the 8 ways that people are enabling hackers: clicking on links, responding to the scams, clicking on links without checking, lousy passwords. Like I said in the beginning, the dark web has credentials pretty much on everybody. When I ran last time I sponsored Business Connections, we had tens of thousands of usernames and or passwords for the people that were at Business Connections. And we actually have a monitoring service to look for that, so people know what's out there, and because people use the same passwords. Or people are working at home now. Now the question is, are their kids using the same PCs, or even we know they're on the same network, but are they using the same PC that these people are using to access their office? With the PCs accessing their office, we don't know what's on those PCs. Business owners really need to audit these PCs to see, are they really secure? Maybe they actually installed a VPN. Most people say, oh, VPNs is secure access. VPN is secure access, secure right past the firewall into the internal network, and grants access to anything. Most of the time grants access to everything that's inside. So we definitely want to talk to people that have implemented a VPN solution or remote access solution in the haste of getting people working at home, because a lot of security steps have probably been missed. Ad hoc public places, well, that's not too much of an issue right now, because you can't even go into Starbucks. You have to go through the drive-through. Oversharing on social media. There's a whole bunch of memes floating around right now of people taking surveys and stuff and graciously sharing all this private information that I can use to answer questions about people in the future. So, warn your users to stay away from a lot of those surveys. I saw one yesterday. It's like, okay, Bruce filled out the form and said it gave me a personality profile of him, but it also answered a whole bunch of questions about him. So it's really, really not good. Now, surfing the net indiscriminately. If we got people working at home, they're no longer covered by the corporate firewall typically, which has content filtering in, blocks things. Like I said, there's 137,000 new COVID-19 sites out there. There's nothing checking on it except for some maybe some expired antivirus software sitting at home. So it really is a matter of getting people to surf cautiously, or make sure they've got all the latest updates. That's pretty much what I got. I've got some other stuff coming on. One of the things that I'm going to share out with the group that registered is a video that I did 2 weeks ago. Everyone talks. We talk about how bad it is to click on documents and links. Well, I've got a video showing what the hacker sees after you click on it. How easy it is to get access to your PC once you've clicked on it. It was pretty funny when I did it as a live event. We went through and we talked about we went through the demo of accessing the PCs, and then at the end I said to him, it's like, everyone's heard of a keylogger, but have you ever seen one? I'm like, no. Okay, do me a favor, go over and log into QuickBooks. Go over to QuickBooks Online. So I got somebody sitting over on another PC. She goes to QuickBooks Online. I said, put in a username, put in a password, but don't hit return yet, and don't tell me about it. Okay. She looked, and I just pointed out, it's got the little lock icon at the top of QuickBooks, and I turned on hit return on the hacker PC that I had sitting behind me. It popped up her username, and it popped up the password that she had typed in. I turned to her, I said, Moscow. She jumped up in front of the room, even knowing what was going to happen, and screamed out something that was really good on video. But so it really did demonstrate that once you get access to a machine, people are sitting there and watching it. So I'm going to share that video out with everybody that registered, along with that previous checklist. I've also got a couple other things going on right now. That awareness training for employees is big, the cybersecurity awareness training. So we've been selling it. We're making that available. We're just going to make that platform available to all businesses, any size, to go ahead and train their employees. It's about 45 minutes of online self-paced videos online. It goes through and asks some questions at the end. It even prints out a certificate and a little portal for the company to know that everyone's did it. So you can take that and put it into your compliance files or your HR files to say, yeah, we went through with cyber training every year. Here's the last time we did it, and here's everybody's results. If anyone has some questions, there's a link at the bottom here for jumping on my calendar, or you can get me through the chamber site. I'm also bringing on a national cybersecurity speaker for another event tomorrow at lunchtime. And that's what I got. Any questions, comments, help? If you know of it, I had a poll question that I forgot to put up because we got sidetracked. It was a poll question asking people basically how you're working today.
Do you want me to launch the poll?
Yeah, go ahead, Kay. Launch the poll. And
this is Wendy. So yeah, I just launched it, and I'm not sure. Yeah. I guess, can everybody see it?
Everyone should be able to see it. It should be a multiple choice poll. Answer as many questions that are applicable, but most everybody. Okay. Somebody can't work at home. Well, that's not good. We can fix that. We can help with that.
Well, it depends on the job, right? Like my daughter can't work at home. She's a bartender.
Well, she just has to drink all of her drinks.
And she helps me. She's been helping me with some cocktails.
Okay.
And then Bob, I did have a question. So you talked about, VPN not being secure, but that confused me a little bit, because I thought if, we're using VPN to remotely access our network at work, aren't we behind the firewalls?
And that's the problem. Okay, we can drop the poll. Thanks, guys. I didn't know where people were. Here's the results.
I don't know how to. Oh, okay.
there's the results what people have. So 2 people are working home. So Wendy, your question about VPN. Yes, VPN is secure. There's the definition of VPN has gotten kind of skewed a little bit because there's both the corporate VPN and then there's also these anonymous services that are also calling themselves a VPN. They do a similar thing, but in your case, you're VPNing into the office. Now, when you VPN into the office, all your data between you and the office is encrypted. That's true. However, most implementations of VPN allow everything from the originating PC access to the office. So if you're sitting at home with other people on that home network, or you've got that VPN software installed on some PC that's sitting at the house that is not a corporate asset,
Okay.
you've now just bypassed the firewall for that machine.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It really is that, you know, we've got all these older machines that people basically corralled into use over the weekend because we got told we couldn't go to work on Monday morning, and that's why we need to talk to people about other ways to get in. Like we have, one of the things I've been making available is remote access software, so I can get any user pretty much access to their office PC from home securely with 2-factor authentication in about 10 minutes without even going on site. And we're actually making that free through June. I got one of the vendors to donate the licenses.
Oh, nice. That's a great offering.
And like I said, the best thing is, in most cases, we don't have to go on site. If there's somebody in that office already, we can get it deployed. I see a chat question popped up here.
That was me.
I have a question, Bob.
Shoot.
Antivirus software.
Mm-hmm.
How good is that stuff, and what do you think is the best?
The best is one that's used and running. The problem with antivirus software, most of the antivirus softwares today that are available at the small business and residential levels aren't the same quality as what's coming out on the corporate side. The antivirus software looks for known problems, looks for things that they've seen in the past, and that's the problem we're seeing with the antivirus software is it only finds things that it knows. Now, right now on that, this is actually a great lead in for tomorrow's presentation, because tomorrow we talk about how it's 3 stages of a security program is protection, detection, and response. So locks on your front door are the locks that keep people out. That's what antivirus and firewalls are doing. We're focusing a lot of our effort now on the detection side. What's already gotten past those things? But to answer your question, we're using WebRoot and another product called Deep Instinct, which is a commercial product. But WebRoot you can get you can get on the open market also. It works. You know, it's really a matter of making sure you've got a current one to get most everything. But like I said, there's things that are getting past the firewalls, things that people install. A lot of people, the detection software we have will find stuff that people has allowed to install. So when you get that pop-up that says, oh, so-and-so wants to make changes to your PC, you end up clicking yes. Well, that just bypassed everything. So that's why we really focus on the detection aspect to find out what's going on. Because we got the lucky thing is we got up to 100 days to find the problem before it turns into a significant issue. And there was just a thing this morning that the new ransomware attacks that if people don't pay, they're just releasing the data. And who was it? There was somebody else that just came out another link. Can we find it?
And Bob, what password management software do you recommend?
Anthony and I use LastPass all the time.
What is it called?
LastPass.
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 Okay.
LastPass has an app for your phone. It has an app for the browser, an app for the computer, and you literally click on the click on LastPass when you go to log into a site. It'll give you the generated password, and it just works. And then you use two-factor authentication to get into it. What was I looking for? There was a question. It
was about the antivirus software.
Oh, here, yeah. And I was going down this ransomware thing where Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and SpaceX documents were leaked because they didn't pay the ransom. But yeah, I'd say LastPass and WebRoot are the two that are my go-to ones.
All right, thank you. I definitely need one. I'm getting tired of managing so many passwords. Oh, and I from my information security days, I mean, we were just had it drummed into our head that you don't write your password down anywhere, you don't store it anywhere, because someone can get at that password file.
There's actually some new recommendations coming out of Microsoft about not changing passwords and just sticking with two-factor. So, one of the things we do is we'll put simple login names on some applications for people, as long as it's got two-factor authentication behind it.
Gotcha. Yeah, two-factor is definitely the recommended way to go. So,
how do you set that up, two-factor?
Two-factor authentication is typically set up based on the application. The application itself will enforce it. Like if you run email through Office 365, there's a setup in the user settings to say, okay, enable two-factor. And when you enable two-factor, it goes ahead and will send you a text. We'll walk you through. It might just be sending you a text message, which is good. It's not great. Most of the best two-factor authentication is something that's using an external device and/or an application to do it, because guys, the hackers now are actually calling up the cell phone company and saying, "Oh, I got a new phone," moving your cell phone number over, and then they can get text messages. So it's called SMS authentication, which is super simple to set up because it's just a text message. It's actually it's not on the top 10 list for secure now. Anything else?
all right. Well, this was very helpful. I don't know if anybody has any last minute questions. I just wanted to let everybody know the webinars, the noontime webinars we have coming up this week. Tomorrow is Turning Hidden Capabilities into Revenue with Alan Berger. And then Wednesday as well in the afternoon, we have at 2 p.m. Accessing FEMA COVID-19 assistance for municipal and private nonprofit agencies. That's Kelly Rozovsky. And then on Thursday, we have a virtual group fitness class with Lois Manzella Marchito. And then on Friday is Defending Your Digital Landscape. So you guys can access those you can register via our website. And we thank you, Bob. Sorry for the little glitch at the beginning with the link. But
you were just trying to make my nerves go up higher. That's all.
Oh, well, you did a great job. Great job, Ed. I don't know if you have any parting words.
No, I just thank everybody for partnering with the chamber, and we'll get the video out to you. And stay tuned, because we have a lot of, as a matter of fact, we're booked through May. So we have a lot of seminars coming up.
Great.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Wendy.
Thanks, Bob.
Great job, Bob.